Okay, so today's recipe is going to be short ribs and Chile Guajillo, and I'm gonna put those short ribs in the pot of beans that I'm making. So, but first, what I'm gonna do is season the short ribs and seal them in a frying pan. So I'm just gonna start adding the seasoning that I want. So I'm just gonna kind of lightly season them with salt. Just a little bit, and then I'm also going to put a little bit of garlic powder, and I'm not really too concerned about it, taste at this point. I'm just wanting to make sure that I put this in there before I fry them, just to kind of seal the meat, so that when I put them inside the beans, it'll incorporate in with the seasoning from the beans too. So I'm just gonna kind of work this in a little bit. And then I'm gonna make sure that my pan has a little bit of oil, and I'm going to lay them so that my cooking is going to be on each side. So I want to make sure that I place them properly where they can sear on all of the sides. And I'm making quite a bit today because I've got company coming over later. So you can just kind of make the portion that you feel would be best for your family. Okay, so what you're wanting to look for when you're searing is just that brownness. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be checking all of them, but it still needs a little bit longer. That's what I want to see throughout all of the sides. So on here we have about 15 to 20 Chile Guajillo. You can get that at the Mexican store, and this is going to be the base of your sauce that the short ribs will be in. We kind of put them on the grill for a little bit just so that they can brown and roast a little bit, because it really gives it a really full flavor. She's going to keep doing this until they're crispy, and then we're going to put them in a pot with hot water and boil them to make them softer. And we're going to take the seeds out before we actually blend it, but we'll show you that in just a moment. So in here I have all of the Guajillo peppers. I blended them, and I literally just put in some black pepper, some garlic, and cumin. The seasoning will be here in just a minute when I mix it in with the rest of them. I'm going to sift this through just to make sure that I get everything and that that sauce is nice and without any skin from the pepper. So I put in just like a tablespoon of oil, and I'm just going to let this set and cook for just a minute. I may add a little bit of water from the beans, since this is all going into the same pot of beans with the meat that I cooked in earlier. So I'll continue sifting it, and I'll show you what the finished product for the Chile Guajillo will look like. Okay, so this is what it looks like once it's all sifted. This is what's left. And then this is what I'll be working with, which will be the base of the sauce that I'm going to be putting in. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put in a little bit of the juice from the beans. Just to kind of make it a little bit more soupy. This is all going back into the beans. So, but what I want to do is I want to get it nice and cooked before I put it in there. And right now, it has no salt, no seasoning, except for the cumin, the garlic, and the pepper. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add in a little bit of the tomato bouillon, the Nor Suiza. And I'm gonna add in a little bit more of the soup. And I'm gonna get it just right to taste. And I'm gonna continue tasting it, and then I'll add it into the beans, because the beans already have a good taste. So after I do that, that's a good taste now. And the Chile Guajillo is not a spicy. It gives it a really, really nice smoked taste. This can also be the base of a picante sauce. You could get some of the red long chiles, ¿cómo se llaman los chiles rojos que hacemos la salsa, señora? Chiquito, el chile de árbol. It's called chile de árbol, and you can find it at the Mexican store. You can use that along with this base, and that is also a really, really nice hot sauce. So, yeah. So if you can see, I have my pot of beans here. In the pot of beans, I put in all of the ingredients that you saw in the picture. Basically, it was just 2 cloves of garlic and some onions, and these are homemade, so I do know how to make them homemade. I know I don't always use the can of beans, so I don't know if that makes me more Mexican or not, but I don't think so. Anyway, and I only say that because there were some comments about how I'm not Mexican enough because I don't know how to make beans at home. And I actually do, but I just sometimes don't have time because I work and I have kids and I have family. So anyway, here's the proof. Here's my beans. So now I'm gonna mix everything in. Put all of this wonderful sauce in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding all of the meat in the beans. I kind of set it to the side for a minute, and I'm going to let this cook down for probably another 45 minutes to an hour. The meat is going to give the beans a very nice taste. And you're gonna see what it looks like here in just a minute when it's all said and done. I'm gonna close the I'm gonna close this so that it can continue cooking with the meat in it, and then we'll come back to show you what it looks like.